Hi, and welcome to episode number 147 of the weekly Google Cloud Platform podcast. I'm Melanie Warwick, and I'm here with special co-hosts Willie, Brink, and Nyalleng Moorosi. Hello, Willie. Hello, Nyalleng.
Hi, Melanie. It's good to be here.
Thank you for being here. All right, I'm going to have you both take a quick minute and tell us a little bit about who you are.
Thanks. I'm Willie. I am a lecturer at Stellenbosch University. This is, of course, also the host for this year's Deep Learning Indaba. I have a passion for machine learning, computer vision. I have a passion for teaching, and it is wonderful for me to be here.
I'm glad you're here. Nyalleng?
Yeah, I'm Nyalleng Moorosi, as Melanie has mentioned. I recently joined the Google AI team for the group that's going to be in Accra, Ghana. I'm very excited about that. Before that, I was a researcher at the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research. It's a very, very long name, but it's a research lab here in South Africa, government funded and also partially industry. I'm very, very excited to be going to Accra because I can continue doing machine learning and continue living in Africa, which is exactly why we are here at the Indaba.
Yes, we are doing this recording, and this episode specifically is about Deep Learning Indaba, where we're going to showcase a couple of interviews that we captured during this week. Can you both take a minute and just tell the audience what Deep Learning Indaba is about?
Our line is strengthening African machine learning, so it's always good to start with that. But I think the Deep Learning Indaba has become strengthening African machine learning, but I think when we started it, we did not know exactly how much it would, and it has become a community of sharing knowledge, of sharing skill, of celebrating one another, and of course, continual learning. So it almost feels like it's going to be our yearly pilgrimage, where from wherever we come from, we go to wherever everybody is, and we collaborate and we work together, and we catch up and we celebrate what we did with the last year.
And I think also what is very important for us is to equip students and academics from all over Africa to come together, to meet each other, to network, but very importantly also to go back to their own communities and carry on this message of strengthening machine learning and really just catching up with the rest of the world. Africa has enormous potential, and I think it's a very exciting time for all of us.
Agreed. Well, as I mentioned, we have some interviews in this episode in particular. We are going to be talking with, and Willie, you helped me with this. We're talking with Yasin, and we're also talking with Vukosi, and we're going to spend part of that interview really talking a little bit more about what Deep Learning Indaba is about and some of the awards that were given out. And then the other part of our interview that was covered was with Andrea, who's VC here in Africa. And I know Nyalleng and I just spoke with her and had a great conversation. So before we get into our interviews, as always, we start out with some of the cool things of the week and a question of the week. And we're going to wrap up with a question that is pretty much what are some of our key takeaways from the conference. But as I mentioned, we'd like to start out with the cool thing of the week. And we're going to do a little variation off of this, which is to help talk a little bit about sort of what are some of the highlights that have been going on, not the key takeaways, but things that have been happening during this conference. What are some of the great things that have been going on or activities? Like I know that we've had a lot of speakers here and...
Yeah, so we've really had an action-packed week. Great speakers. Nando de Freitas was here and Mustafa Assis and lots of others. David Silver, Jeff Dean. So it's a really, really great list of speakers. We also had poster sessions, which were amazing. All the students presenting their own work. Movie screenings of AlphaGo.
Right.
Mm-hmm. There was a Women in Machine Learning event one evening, which was really inspiring.
Nyalleng, you were speaking at that one as well.
Yeah, and it was a very well attended. It was one of our biggest sessions.
And then there's been students who are from all over different countries within Africa. My understanding is like 30 countries, and the number of attendees is around 550 attendees.
That's right.
Outside of the WIML event, I think one of the cool things that I saw was when David Silver walked in and somebody was sitting there and looked over and saw him. It was like, oh my God, I just saw you in a movie. He was so excited. I thought that was pretty fun to watch. Any other little highlights that come to mind?
I think I also saw somebody on a David Silver spotting, and he kind of lost his mind a little bit. The cool events. Oh, goodness. There are just so many. My coolest event was the award sessions. The posters are always really rewarding and enlightening, and half the time, I mean, you just go there to just learn meeting all the other people that are actually machine learning. And maybe that's actually something to mention about the number of people that have traveled from far. Other researchers that have jam-packed a schedule that travels from far to come spend the week with us. And that's been very exciting to see them also.
Very much so. Any posters that jump out?
Oh, well, this is really putting me on the spot because the one poster that I do remember was actually Steve Kroon and Herman. Herman is also a colleague who organized this. And this poster will be at NIPS, this year's NIPS poster. And they have a closure they have discovered about how to add noise in a network. So how much noise can you add in a network until you can't learn anymore? So actually you saturate the network and you cannot anymore learn in a deep net. And so they have these closure properties about how deep you can go and how much noise you can add. And that's really beautiful because so much, that just narrows the parameter tuning search space. And this is work that's been done right here in Stellenbosch.
That's great. Well, I think it's time for us to go ahead and jump into our interview. So let's go do that. Today, I'm excited to have with me Dr. Vukosi Marivate and Yasin Musa Ayami, who are both here at Deep Learning Indaba, which is based in Stellenbosch, South Africa, for this edition of the Deep Learning Indaba. And with me also is Willie Brink, who is helping to be my special guest co-host. So thank you all for coming today.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Now, let me go ahead and kick us off like we usually do, which is to have you tell us a little bit about who you are. So, Vukosi, can you start?
Thank you for having me over. My background mostly is in kind of machine learning. At the moment, I am the chair of data science and a senior lecturer at the University of Pretoria. Taking through my background, I was interested in kind of machine learning and AI from a young age. Ended up going